friends, and welcome to Music Strong. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the arm aid. And if you are on my mailing list, then you have received a newsletter from me recently where I talked about this cool little device. I found out about it through a massage therapist friend, and when I reached out to the company, I saw that they were marketing almost completely back then to rock climbers, which makes sense because this little thing massages your forearms and it helps you relax and release those tight muscles in your forearms. And if you think about what rock climbers do, oh my gosh, right? Lots of gripping, lots of forearm strength that's needed. But as you know, at Music Strong, what we do here is we deal with musicians and we want to prevent overuse injuries. And one of the biggest areas where musicians get overuse injuries is in the forearm. Tendonitis, carpal tunnel syndrome, cubital tunnel syndrome, epicondylitis of the elbow, all kind of hand issues, and you can use this cool little device for all of those things. So I reached out to them and asked, hey, why don't you guys market to musicians? And I thought, oh, we hadn't thought about it because they're not musicians. So I started a cool little partnership with them so I can actually show you guys how it works for musicians. So the cool thing is, when I put this out the other day on my newsletter, and if you haven't subscribed, please head over to my website and click the little drop down and I'll send you the top 5 exercises for musicians for free, just for joining, and you know, tons of other freebies actually. So head over there. But anyway, I had someone respond and say, hey, how does it work? Do you have to grip it? And I said, no, you don't have to grip it. And she said, well, I can't grip anything because I think she said she had carpal tunnel syndrome and tendonitis. Now, my very first injury was in this arm from playing flute. I went from like 2 to 4 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day, to 8+ hours a day for 8 weeks. And my first injury was tendonitis. And I had a knot in my forearm, like major pain right here. It was huge. And at the end of 8 weeks, I couldn't even hold a pencil. It hurt so bad. So I understand about not being able to touch things and hold things and grip things. Thankfully, carpal tunnel is not something that has been on my injury list, but I understand about that. And I deal with a lot of clients who have arthritis, and gripping is a serious issue. And you need to be able to do that in life, but sometimes you just can't, whether it's because of rheumatoid arthritis or, again, like what she said, carpal tunnel and tendonitis. So I told her I'd make a new video, and so this video is just for her. So here we go. The deal is, no, you don't have to grip, and I'm going to show you how you can use this to not grip and use it, even if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, and also how you can use it if you have carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis, and how that can benefit your rehab journey. Quick caveat, this is if you have not been diagnosed by a doctor. If you have been diagnosed by a doctor, make sure you check with them first, and if you're in physical therapy or physio or PT, make sure you also check with them that this is okay for you, because everybody is different. This is for somebody who has not been diagnosed formally. So just to throw that out there, because this is not for everybody. Your case might be different, but this is how, in general, you can use it to overcome those injuries. By the way, this is my mascot, Mr. Sloth. Just kidding, this is Levi, in case he decides to help us today. So we've got 2 different attachments I want to show you. It comes with these 2, and if you have the older version, this is their new version. It's much more portable, it's lighter, it's smaller. This is the older version. You can see it's definitely a difference, right? This one you actually have to strap to your leg, but I like this because it's smaller, takes up less space, it's a little more portable, not quite as bulky, but it still comes with all the same great features. So what you're going to do is you're going to, it also comes with this cool little rubber band, and it's not a crazy tight rubber band, okay? So you're going to set this to where it needs to be to make sure you can get your forearm in there, right? And then you're going to put this rubber band around it. What that's going to do is going to hold it together so you don't have to grip, okay? So we're going to look for tender points in the forearm, right in here, generally right below the elbow, or where things tend to start to be painful, right in here, and then you might try to like I got one right there. You might try to mash around in here and see if you can find those tender points ahead of time. Be very gentle. You're not trying to mash really hard. A lot of times they will get down in here as well. So here and here. is where we're going to be focusing. So you're going to have this on your leg. I want you to put your arm through so you can see from all angles what this looks like, right? So now this is holding, it's going to stay right there, right? And this is not really hard pressure, so I'm just going to hold it on my leg, and I'm going to gently, I'm not going to grip it, but I'm just going to hold it together so it doesn't move. I'm going to roll my arm back and forth, looking for those tender points, okay? Oof, right through there. Ow, I've got a spot. I found a spot way up here. And then I found another spot down here. So I'm going to go one at a time. I'm going to go way up here, that tender spot right there. Yeah, you're going to dig that ball into the middle of that tender point. And again, you never roll over a joint and you never roll over a bone. So you want to make sure you're not pressing on a bone. Right now I'm feeling that in my first two fingers. That's called referred pain, when you press somewhere and you feel pain somewhere else. Also, if this is a shooting pain or an acute pain, you want to get off that. You don't want this to be anything really intense, okay? On a 1 to 10 pain scale, this should be no more than a 7. Above a 7, you start clenching and it just, it just doesn't feel good. So, and you're not going to be able to relax. So I want you to go right through here. And I'm not gripping this, I'm just holding it. Because if I let it go too far, I won't feel as much. Which also might feel really good. If this is really tender and inflamed for you, it's not a bad thing. So we're going to go back and forth. I found a spot right here. Oh, yeah, I feel that right in my thumb too, okay? And I want you to bring your fingertips together. Oh, and you're going to stretch until you're going to move your hand until you feel a stretch in that area. I can feel that up in my shoulder. That's how you know you're in the right spot, okay? Hold for 30 seconds at a time. Okay, or until the pain goes down. And then we're going to go to the other spot, which was right over here. Then find it again. You might have to make a few passes, that's all right. Whew. You can see that if that's even too much, you're just going to hold it here. Not gripping at all. Where was that spot? Right in here, yeah. Right there. Ooh, yeah, nice. Okay, so let your hand relax. So I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. Let it relax, okay? Also, are you clenching your jaw? If you're clenching your jaw, your tongue is like in the top of your mouth, you might be clenching a little hard. Back off on the pressure here, okay? Again, not going to bring it towards you that much. You're just going to hold it stable, find that spot, and go this way. You don't want to go that way. That will flex these muscles and make it hurt worse. That'll contract it. We're trying to stretch it, which is this opposite direction. You can also stretch down, bring your fingertips together, stretch that way, and then stretch up, okay? Now, one more thing. This person who contacted me, I'm pretty sure, is a flute player. Yesterday, I did a workout for trombonists, and what I found out is that a lot of times they get pain and tightness down here on this side of the forearm. You can, of course, you can swap it out. It might feel better to use this, to swap it out, to use that. Oops, on that area. But you can flip it around. Move your hand that way to try to find that spot. Oh, right there. And I feel that down in here, okay? So you definitely want to get both sides. And again, not gripping here, just holding tight, holding steady. Let the hand relax. If it hurts too much, ease up on the pressure and just relax and let that pain go down. Breathe through it, all those things, right? I'm just going to relax and it's going to feel nice. Then we're going to follow it up with some stretches, okay? And this should feel good. Another thing you can use it on while we're waiting for that to go down, you can use it right here in your thumb. Now, if you have extreme, if you have inflammation in your thumb, you want to be very careful about adding to that inflammation. Make sure you get cleared by a doctor or a PT that is what you want to do, in fact. A lot of these issues, you don't want to go self-diagnosing, right? Because it might not be exactly what's wrong with you. And you say, well, I have this, or I have this, or I have this, and you don't know. Again, this is how I didn't show that. So it comes in and out like this. Goes in a little slot there. That goes in here. You press, and then it locks right here. So we take that out. I'm going to put this one in. And if you don't have, you do need a little bit of strength to do this, but if you don't, I'd get a friend to do it, or just leave it alone. Like, you don't necessarily have to, okay? And this is also very new, so it's not broken in or flexible yet at all. But it's supposed to be tight, so it stays in there, right? There. And you want to make sure that it's in here where it's supposed to go. Okay, I'm going to turn it around so it stays locked in. Actually, I went too hard on that. I'm thinking it was supposed to click, and it wasn't. So I don't need to do that. Let me show you that again. Turn around. So it's like this. I'm going to put it in that little groove, like that. And I'm just going to twist, okay? Oops. Put it in the little groove and twist. And boom, there. It stays nice and tight. All right. I'm going to put this back on. Actually, I'm going to put this really, really close together. You can use this if you need to, just for safety's sake, but I'm going to bring my hand through here. So my thumb is on that yellow ball. So we're going to go right in here with this flexor pollicis. I hope this is right. Flexor pollicis? I got to look at my anatomy of the hand one more time. But right there. Yeah, a lot of us, if you use a trackball mouse, if you are a musician who uses your thumb a lot, I got an email today from an illustrator who has this kind of issue. You're right in there. Oh, when you find that spot, you'll know it. And then let that hand relax. You flex your thumb a little bit out that way. Okay, so you see I'm going that way. So you don't want to bring it in if you go out. Do the opposite of the motion that caused the issue, right? You're going to hang out and hold. Oh, boy, that feels good. Make sure you're not clenching. Relax. Is your shoulder relaxed? Are your hands relaxed? Is your arm relaxed? Yeah, let that pain go down. Notice if you're clenching really hard, and you don't have to hold, okay? You don't have to clench this. If you are, notice when you relax that, how that feels, okay? Now we're gonna bring that out to stretch that. We go back that way. You'll feel it. So I just was in this muscle here. Yeah, that's nice. And I'd like to say there's a big sexy stretch for this, but there's not. It's just, pressing your thumb back that way. Okay. Now, if you're hypermobile, be careful when stretching here. Sometimes the body, when you're hypermobile, the body makes muscles tight because it's seeking stability. And that's a compensation. So you definitely want to follow that up with some strengthening. Okay. I'll do that with it in my other videos. So we did that, and then we're going to stretch here and here. So I would use a chair instead of doing this or this. It's just not as effective of a stretch. So you're gonna bring your hand down like this. Make sure your hand is directly underneath your shoulder, elbow is straight. Try to touch your fingertips together. You're not trying to make a fist. You're just keeping your fingertips together. And as long as your elbow is directly underneath your shoulder, you shouldn't be able to lift up your knuckles. But I want you to try. And what that's going to do is shut this off and turn this on. You can't do both at the same time. Hold for 10 to 20 seconds, come out of that nice and easy, relax, turn backwards, and don't force it. If you can only go here, that's fine. So just go to where it's comfortable. Don't ever force a stretch. Bring your fingertips wide and come out like this and hold. Try to lift your fingertips. You shouldn't be able to. 10 to 20 seconds. After that, come out. Some nice little wrist rolls. Should feel really lovely. And that's it. So please shoot me your questions. I'm super excited to talk to you guys and answer any questions you have. And if you haven't hopped over to my website yet to join me for the live instrument-specific workouts, you can do that. Tonight is Wednesday, the November 4th, and tomorrow is the 5th. Yesterday I did the trombone workout. Tomorrow I am doing trumpet. The following week, on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm doing guitar and cello, to be followed by several other instruments. You can see them all on my website, but please join me, and then you can join me live and ask me your questions in real time, and we can talk about this and how you also need it, along with everything else, including the strengthening exercises you need on the opposite to make sure that you can avoid those overuse injuries. Thanks for subscribing, guys.